Good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for coming on time. Okay, you guys are the best. Okay, so welcome to the second part of my workshop sessions. So today we're gonna visit part 2, React applications. Okay, it's the direct sequel from last time. If you guys do remember, last time we make an awesome, well, I guess pretty awesome anyway, primitive personal website. So let's check it out today. What are we gonna do? Okay. So again, we are looking or getting our hands dirty on something called JavaScript frameworks. Okay. Just to recap, right? Last time we built an personal web page using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. Today I want to focus on the last part, where this is JavaScript, right? So I mentioned last time that JavaScript is a programming language, okay? And it allows you to build dynamic content and basically make your static page into dynamic or application-based apps per se, okay? But the way that we wrote JavaScript last time, we just write it by ourselves. We don't adhere to any rules or any framework. Okay, we just write it ourselves, and that would be okay, for smaller projects. But then once we start to develop a more complex application with a lot of people collaborating, it might be a good idea. And actually, this is typically done. We are going to resort to the framework. Okay. So what is a framework anyway? So framework is a library. And the library is just the code that the library author wrote for us. We use that code, okay? And what this code do is actually provide an opinion on how do we do things. If you want to build an application, these are the way to do if you were to use this library's code, okay? And the reason that you want to use this is that it's going to guarantee some type of predictability and homogeneity. Okay, so let me back off a little bit, okay? Last time, the way that we do it is that you just, write the code. Nobody is going to, you don't have to adhere to any guideline. It means that you have a lot of freedom, which is good, right? You want lots of freedom. It allows you to do whatever you want, right? But then once you start to work in teams and start to have a more complicated application, actually freedom is a double-edged sword, okay? Too much freedom can result in you just do whatever on your code, and your code is gonna get more messy, very hard to understand, very hard to maintain, very hard to iterate on it, okay? And also, once you do it your own style, like the new people come in, like want to work with you, they look at your code and they might not understand your code very easily, okay? So once we run into that situation, the framework will allow predictability, meaning that if everyone follows the same rule, we're going to get the same results every time. And then homogeneity, meaning that if you look at the other people's code that use the same library or framework, you can understand it very easily because it uses the same pattern. So that kind of thing is kind of important. And when you go into developers company and they want to develop something rather complex, they're always going to resort to this type of framework. Okay, so that's kind of the technology that is being used nowadays for everything online basically. Okay, all right. So there is always going to be, an approaches for, the context, meaning that what you did last time is called vanilla JavaScript. When you say vanilla, it's just the flavor of the ice cream, very plain. Just do whatever you want. That's okay for simple application or if you're the only developer working on it. But once you start to work with other people and your app's getting more complex than framework, it's usually a way to go, okay? And today we're gonna get some hands-on some of the popular framework in the JavaScript framework space. Okay? And how do we determine which one to use, right? I want to show you, I want you to get your hands on the most popular one, okay? And to determine that, we're going to resort to the Stack Overflow Survey 2025, which is last year, okay? So Stack Overflow is the website where people, usually developer, go ask questions and you get answer in the forum, okay? And every year, this website conduct a survey, and a lot of people actually participate. And it's a pretty good measure of how the state of the technology is evolving by kind of consulting this information. And here is the results. Okay, what I want you to focus on is the technology, right? And the one that we're looking at, okay, so there are many technologies in here. The one that is kind of relevant to us is actually this guy's over here. Okay, so Node.js is actually the server-side framework. So it's okay if you don't understand this, but this is not relevant to what we're doing right now. Today, we want to do the client-side JavaScript framework. And the most popular one is actually this guy over here, React. And this is exactly the topic of today. I want you to try to get the flavor of, if you want to get paid writing programs, this would be something that they would actually use. Okay, but we're not going to go into like too deep on it. Just want to get you to build similar things from last time, but try to use the framework and see, maybe you want to become a developer. Maybe you can take my class. Okay, I teach full stack development. So maybe I'm speaking to the wrong crowd right now. Okay, you're a civil engineer, right? So anyway, let's do it, man. All right. So in order to do that, you're going to have to use terminal. Okay, sounds scary, but it's okay. People use it in the past. I used it when I was young. When I first started using computer, there's no mouse. Everything's terminal. Okay, so first I'm going to bring up this software over here called Command Prompt. It might sound scary. Okay. Okay, so find this software. Okay, it looks a bit scary, but don't worry. I'll guide you through it. Okay. The first step is I want you to. So right now, when you open it, it's gonna locate in the particular folder called the home folder. So this is actually my folder because my username is called admin. For you, it should be something else, corresponding to your username, basically. So what I want to do is I want to go to another location. Okay, so I'm gonna change directory. If you ever use something before, this like a command you type, right? So change directory, and then I want to change to the desktop with a capital D. Okay, and if you press enter, you're gonna see that now the locations actually changes. Okay, and actually this is the desktop that you are looking at on your computer right now. Like the stuff that you put in here, it's gonna display on your desktop. Okay, so that's a good place to work on it because then you know where the files are. Okay, and then we're gonna copy, or you can just type or copy. I think today might be a good time to copy and paste because when you write code like this, you cannot make mistakes. Okay, so the way that I would do is I would copy, like this, right? And then the neat trick for Windows is if you want to paste something, you just right-click on it. See how I do this? I just right-click on it like this, and then just hit enter. Okay? So I want to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Okay? So I'm getting something that says project name. Okay? So can you stop here? Don't go yet, okay? Because if you make mistakes, it's not a big deal, but you just have to redo it. But I want to make sure that you guys here. Very good. Okay. Okay, terminal, please. terminal, CMD. Okay. Some of you, for some of you, I think I'll redo it for you guys. Okay. One more time. I want you to open terminal. So actually, this is the software. Can you type? Usually, it's called CMD or command prompt. Make sure you got this one. Okay. So I just type CMD. And what I want you to do is I want you to change the directory to desktop, like this, and hit enter. And you're going to see that your location has changed. Okay. Next up, I want you to copy this line over here. So just copy it. I think will be the best way. So I'm going to highlight this one, right click and hit copy. But then when you paste, you just right click on it to paste. Okay, that's the neat trick for the command prompt. Okay, hit enter and you're good to go. Okay, so next up, I'm going to leave the default. The default is okay. Okay, so you just hit enter. And now, please pay attention. If you did it wrong, you have to redo it again. Okay, so I'm going to choose React. Okay, and again, when you use command prompt, you cannot use mouse. No mouse. Hit up and down until until it's highlighted at React and press enter one time. Okay. And now a lot of choices. I want you to go for JavaScript plus SWC. This one. Okay, and then press enter one more time. And now the rest you can just follow the default option, which is no, yes, and then let it go. I mean let it run, not let it go. Okay, if you do it correctly, I'll just go on until, and then I'll help you guys, okay? If you do it correctly, then, you know what? I can visit this link over here, okay? So I'm going to do control and click. You hold the control key and left click at the link, and you should be seeing something like this. Okay, hold on. Let me finish this one, okay? So if you can see this one, you're good to go, okay? And maybe I'll do it one more time for you guys, okay? Let me redo everything again, okay? Okay, I'm gonna. Oh. One more time. I'll redo everything for you guys, okay? Okay, one more time. So first, I want you to open command prompt, okay? Next step, CD, desktop. Next step, paste the command on the page number 7, PNPM, create with at latest. Okay, copy and right click on it, hit enter. Leave the project name as the default, okay? This one, please pay attention. We're going to go for React. Okay, use the up and down arrow key. Next stop, I'm going to stop at JavaScript plus SWC. Okay, so that's the only thing that you need to make sure it's you select the right option. Okay, the rest you can just kind of hit enter until it start doing things. Okay, so I'll go help you guys now. Okay. So what you are seeing here is actually a web page, right? But notice the URL of the web page right now, okay? This is called localhost. I don't know if you have seen this before, but localhost, it's actually on your computer because right now you're actually running a server on your own machine, and that server is actually serving that particular website right now. Okay, so let me show you this. If you go back to the command prompt, you're gonna see that right now it's running. Your server is running, right? Because if you type, it doesn't respond to you. It's still running, okay? But I can turn this one off right now. I can stop this process right now by hitting Control and C. Control and C cat. Okay, try that. Control and C. And once you did that, you're gonna see that now you can type things, right? That means that the process has stopped. Okay? And once you did this, if you go back to your website and you refresh it, it's going to be gone. This is almost like the server is down. Like, have you ever experienced that? When you go to some website and then nothing shows up, and then it says, and then you typically just say, you know, the server's gone, like the server's out or down. This is exactly what it is because we just stopped the server process. So that means that nothing's running. Okay, so I want you to stop the server, okay? And I want you to close the terminal. We don't need them anymore, okay? Okay. Next up, we are going to start developing our website using this framework, okay? So we're gonna open VS Code. Okay, and regardless of what shows up in here, you can just do this. Notice that if you follow my instruction, you should see a new folder on your desktop because that's where I told you to change the directories. Okay, if you cannot find it, let me know. Okay, I'll go help you. But for those who can find this particular folder, can you help me drag it in here? Remember that this is the way to center your workspace at the right location. Okay? See? So once I do this, you can see that I have the name of my folder, right? And then I have all these files right here. So I want you to make sure that you can see this. So all the file has to be like this, exactly, before we moved on. Okay? One more time, okay? So if you haven't done so, can you close command prompt? If it's on, just close it. We don't need them anymore. Next up, I want you to open VS Code, okay? And regardless of what you see on here, can you drag a folder called Wheat Project in here? And you should be seeing, you know, the list of files exactly like this. Okay, so the next step is I want you to do this. Terminal, new terminal. Okay. Right now, if you did that, then you're going to have something that you can type. Okay. Can you type this with me? npm run dev. All right, and then just hit enter. Okay, and you're gonna see something familiar, right? You have seen this before, okay? All you need to do is to control click, edit, and now the web comes back, okay? So the setup that I want you to do is we're gonna run the server on this terminal, not the command prompt that we had earlier. You close that one, okay? But we're gonna run it here. So again, one more time, if you wanna turn this process off, then you control C. And now it's off, right? If I want to bring it up again, I just do terminal, new terminal. And the command is npm run dev. If you ever wonder where this command comes from, I put it in here. This one. I'll leave it in here for you guys, okay? This one. page number 10, PNPM run dev. Okay. All right, so for the new guys, let me restart everything one more time for you guys. Okay, so the first thing is we're gonna start customizing our website, okay, like last time, okay. First, I want to change this one. Right now, read project, I don't like that one. I want it to be something more customized. So I'm gonna go into my VS Code, and do you guys see this one? Index.html, right? It's a website, so, you know, it should have some HTML. Right now, if you see this tag called title tag, you can change it, okay? So I'm gonna change this one into my cool website, okay? And then I'm gonna save it, okay? In order to save, you can do File and then Saved, or Control S. Again, Control S is your friend, okay? And right away, you can start to see that it changes, okay? So the behavior that I want you to have is when you save something, it reflects your change automatically. Okay, again, index.html and change your title and then save your file. All right, next up, I'm going to customize my favicon, you know. This particular thing, you can change it too, okay? So let's do that. I'm going to go back to my lecture slides, and on page number 12, you're going to see that there's the links in here. Can you visit this link? It's called the favicon generator. So we're going to make something fun in here, okay? So you can create your favicon from anything, but the easiest one would be, you know, emoji, I guess. You want to see, like, I don't know, just pick one. Can I do that? Or click to use. Oh, okay. Why did it work? It should be working. Oh, it actually works. For some reason, it's kind of slow. Okay, hold on. I don't know if it works. Let me try again. So I want to click at this thing over here. Okay, I don't know. For some reason, mine, if I click on it, nothing works. So I'm going to change into text. I think text is more. Oh, actually, it works. Okay. I have no idea why. Oh, okay. So I have to click at the emoji and then go back to text, and then it will work. Okay. So I never tried that before. Okay. That's fine. Okay. So I don't know. This is kind of weird. Usually I just do text, but today I want to try emoji. So I go to emoji, and then I just pick one that I want. Okay. And then I go back to text, and then it starts changing. So what I'm looking at is that I want the right side, the preview, to reflect what I just clicked, okay? So let's say I want this one. This one looks good already, okay? Then I'm going to download it. Okay, you can go down and then download zip. Okay, just pick something. I just want to show you how you change it. Okay, doesn't matter what it is, okay? So I'm going to download the zip file, okay? And I want you to locate the zip file in your computer, okay? So it should be in your download folder, right here. Okay, so make sure you can find it. Okay, it should be somewhere in here. Okay, so next up, I'm gonna double click at the zip file. Okay, and if you see something like this, keep in mind that this one is still inside the compressed file. So I want to decompress it. So I want to drag this one out to the desktop. That's how you would decompress your files, okay? And I should be seeing a new folder on my desktop. Okay, so I want you to decompress whatever folder inside the zip file out into your desktop. Okay? And next up, I'm going to open that folder. And you're going to see that there are a bunch of icons, right, in here that you can use. Okay? You should be seeing something like this if you change your view. Okay? What I want is, I want this thing right here called favicon. This is what I want, this guy right here. Okay? So I'm going to drag it in. So I'm going to open my VS Code, right? And I'm going to go to a folder called public. Okay? And check this one out. I'm going to drag the favicon in my public folder. See what I do it here? I make sure that it goes into my public folder. And there you go. So what you should be seeing is you should be seeing favicon.svg. Okay? This one in the public folder. Okay? So you want to drag this one into your public folder so that it's appearing here. And now, once you did that, the last step is actually go back to your HTML. And all you need to do is to change this part right here. Okay, so you see this one right here. Change it into favicon because that's a new file. So essentially, you want to change this one so that the name matches. So make sure the name is the same. It's called favicon.svg. So change it. Okay, so let me do that. favicon.svg. And if I saved it, go back to my website, and right away, my website has a cool favicon now. Very cool, right? It's all done. Okay, let me show you one more time, the whole process, okay? Okay. The whole process. Okay. So I'm going to go to my favicon generator, okay? And I just make sure that I pick something cool in here. And then hit text so that I can see the preview. Okay, I'm gonna download the zip file. Okay, so let me do that. Okay, right, and then make sure I delete everything. Okay, so I'm gonna download the zip file. Okay, and it's gonna be located in my download folder. Okay, right now it's compressed. I want to decompress it, so I'm gonna double click inside. I want to drag the folder inside out to my desktop, okay? And I'm going to open that folder one more time. The file that you want is actually this guy over here, favicon, okay? So what I can do is I can open VS Code, move it to the side, and then make sure that I drag the favicon file into the public folder. See, now it has the more files in here, okay? And once you have that file, you can go to index.html and make sure that the name matches whatever this thing is, okay? So favicon. And then saved. And see the magic happen, okay? I got my website right here. Pretty cool, huh? And that's essentially how you would do, your icon. Okay, if you need help, just let me know. Although, I'm not gonna be strict on you on the favicon part. It's not that important. Okay, but if you wanna make it look nice, be my guest. Okay, you guys still need my help? Anybody need my help? You can just call me. I'm very good at fixing your mistakes, I do this for a long time. Okay, all right, so I'm going to move on. So a more important part is I'm going to actually change all of this. I'm going to remove all of this so that we can start from blank state. Okay. So first I'm going to go to source, and then I'm going to go to index.css. Okay. I want to remove everything in here and delete. Okay. And don't forget to save it. Save. Okay. Next up, app.css. Okay, there are two CSS files. Okay, so app.css, remove everything, man. Delete and then save. Okay, so make sure that you saved it too. And right away, if I go back to my web, it's going to look plain because all the style has been removed. Okay, but the function still works. Functionality still there, but now it doesn't look as cool anymore. Okay, and now I'm going to clear everything. So I'm going to go to app.jsx. Okay. Again, I'm going to remove everything in app.jsx. Okay. But before I saved it, actually you can even save it, but please go to my lecture one more time and copy page number 13. Okay, so this part, it's a starting point for your app.jsx. Okay, so I'm going to copy number 13. I'm going to paste back into app.jsx. I'm going to save it. Okay, and now my website is all blank. Okay, so one more time for those who may be not catching up. First, I want to clear index.css. This one, delete everything and saved. Second, go to app.css, delete everything, saved. Lastly, go to app.jsx, okay, delete everything. But before you save, can you copy page number 13 in the box and paste it back into it and then saved. And now your app should be all blank like this. And you're ready to do some coding. So I want something like this. Okay, I'm waiting for your help. I'm waiting for you. Okay, hopefully you guys have blank page. Okay, so we're gonna start coding. Okay, so what you're seeing here, app.jsx, is actually JavaScript. So everything's in here. You kind of have to be a little more stringent. Okay, if you do typo, it might gonna cause an error for the whole page. So you're gonna find out very soon. But first, I want to do this. I want you to place your cursor between this seemingly blank tag, and maybe give it some room in here, okay? And just type something like that, okay? And then save it. You should be seeing the same thing happening, okay? If you don't see this, please let me know, because you're not ready yet, okay? If I put anything between this seemingly blank tag and I saved it, I should see whatever that appearing on my page. If not, then there's something I need to fix. Okay, see, I can change anything. Okay, it has to be between this tag exactly. You know, if you put it somewhere else, it's gonna error. It's not gonna work. Okay, or this one kind of work, but should not work. Okay. Okay, like that. See, it has to be between that tag. Okay. Okay, assuming you guys got it behavior correctly, then we're gonna start You know what? H1, remember? H1 is the header tag, right? And then welcome. Yeah. You have to put everything between that blank tag. Okay? If you put it somewhere else, it doesn't work. Yeah. Okay. Next thing, I'm gonna do p tag, right? Maybe this one, welcome to my website. Okay, actually, I'm just saying my name. Yeah. My name is, okay. So you might start to see that this is like HTML, right? We are introducing the header tag, right? And then there are the p tag, which is the paragraph. And yeah, this one is actually the JavaScript, and then it's kind of hidden the syntax so that it looks like HTML. But what you are writing right now is actually JavaScript behind the scene, but it just makes it so that it just looks like HTML. But it's actually more strict, because if you forgot the closing tag, then the whole page is going to be error. You're going to find out very soon that, for example, if I didn't do the closing tag, then you're going to start seeing some error, because this one is actually syntactically wrong in terms of programming. This is not just HTML where it's quite lenient on the error. This one, super strict. Okay, so you got to have the closing correctly for this to work. Okay? Okay, so what else can I do? I can do H2, right? And I think last time I do my favorite food. Okay? And I even do the list, right? Sorry, UL, which is unordered list. Inside there will be lists like pizza, rice, hamburger. Okay, so right now it's gonna look like last time. Okay, but just be aware that you have to be a little bit more careful on the syntax. It has to have the closing, the matching closing tag like this, or else it's gonna yell at you. You're gonna see them. You're gonna see that error very easily. Okay, and if you ever run into the situation where you cannot find the error, can you just let me know? Because I did this for a long time. I help students a lot, so I'm pretty good at detecting what's wrong. Okay, instead of finding it by yourself, just let me know. Okay, that's my job. So my advice is to just keep saving and see if it changes. Okay? Usually, if it doesn't change when you save, that's a telltale sign that you have syntactical error, and you should resolve that, because then it's going to get more and more convoluted if you don't solve the first error. Okay? Okay, what else can I have? I want to have my pet. Okay. All right, like last time, if you recall, or you can just do this with me, I'm going to go to Pexel. Okay, and then I want to find some cute animal like dog. I think this guy is good. I want this guy as my pet. So I'm going to, remember, copy the image link. Okay? When you copy the image link, make sure that it ends with image extension. I don't want the web page. I want the image. So make sure that's the right links. Okay? I'm going to go back to my website, and then I'm going to add in image tag. Okay? This one, I'm going to paste in my stuff, and right away I can have my image. Okay, so that's way too big. So I'm going to do width equal 250 pixel. And there you go. Okay, so I'm going to blow this one up a little bit so that you guys see. Okay. So if you want to do image, you can do that too, like last time. Okay, so the next step is right now, as you can imagine that if you only use something like this, your website looks super bland, right? Super simple. But I want to have some CSS in here. And it's kind of work the same thing. It's the same way, although you kind of need a special syntax to import the CSS file. So what I want you to do is actually goes into my lecture one more time. Do you see this line over here called import? Okay, on page 14. Can you copy this line? Import, okay? And you're gonna paste it into the app.jsx right at the top, right here. Okay? Do that. All right, and once you did that, then you can check whether it works or not by going into app.css, okay? And maybe just do something like this, body, background color, red. Remember that we can test to see if it works by just kind of make sure that it looks really ugly, okay? So you need import first, and now you can go to app.css and can just make sure that it looks super ugly. Okay, yeah, it looks like this. Okay, if it doesn't turn red, let me know. Should be pretty simple to fix. Okay, good. But today I'm not going to spend too much time on the CSS part because we already did last time. So what I want you to do is actually copy what I have in here, because this one make things look, somewhat modern. So we're gonna copy page number 16, paste it back in here, the whole thing, okay? And also on page 17, okay, so there are 2 pages. It's kind of long. I'm going to copy page 17 and 16, paste it back. So you can put it next, right on top of one another. So we all have all of this, okay? On app.css, okay? And now if you go back to your web page, it will look somewhat more, modern, okay? Because I want to spend the time doing something else rather than CSS today. Okay. Again, I'm copying both page 16 and 17 and put it right, on top, next to one another. You know what? And then if you want, you feel free to change it. Change the color and things like that. If you want, make it more customized. That's your choice. But this one will make it look somewhat more, not too bland. Okay? Hopefully you have a website that looks kind of like this, okay? And we can move on. All right. So, the power of using JavaScript framework is actually not even now. Like even now, we're still using the same thing that we did last time. But next, it's going to be something new, okay? So what I want you to do, I want to do this. I want to say how old I am, okay? So you know what? Right now, I'm pretty old. I am 43 years old. So I am 43 years old. You can say how old you are, okay? And yeah, it's going to, it's going to write it in here, okay? Okay, maybe I'll just do a line break, like, oh, okay, it doesn't let me do line break. Okay, but here's the problem, because if I hard code it like this, then my website is going to be outdated because next year I'm 44 years old, right? But then I want this web page to reflect my current age, no matter when this one is visited. And I can use code for that. I can use programming language for that, Okay. So what I want you to do is, in this construction, right? There is actually give me some space here. Okay. Actually, before, after the function declaration and between this return, you can put some codes in here, JavaScript code. Okay, if you want to do any calculations, do any variable declaration, you want to store something in the memory, this is where you would do it. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to calculate my age right here, and then I want to display that down below. Okay, so the structure is like this. You know, you do some calculations or any programming stuff in here, and now you can display stuff in here. That's kind of like the way to do. Okay, so I'm going to go to my page lecture and go to page number 18. Okay, and let's do this. I'm going to copy the first block. Okay, the first block goes into that computational area. Remember, the first block is going to be between this thing. Okay, it's going to be between the function declaration and the return statement. Okay, it's in here, right? And I saved it. Okay. And I mean, you don't even have to understand what the JavaScript, but you can kind of see what I did, right? So first, I declare my birth year. So I was born in 1982. So you can change your accordingly. Okay. And then if I want to see how old I am, then I just have to find out what is today's year. What is the year, the current year right now. So this is how you would get the current year from the JavaScript engine. And now if I want to calculate the age, then I would just subtract the current year from my birth year, right? So that's how I would do my year dynamically, okay? So now I got the age in here. This one supposed to be like 43 or 44, depending on where I, run this code, right? I want to put this one in here. Okay, how do I do it? All right. So first, let me try this. If I do age, okay. So hopefully I want this to be displayed here. Okay, let's try that. I'm gonna save, and I want to see my website. Okay, and right now what you're seeing here, I don't know if that makes sense. You're seeing age because I'm just hard coding the text in here, which is not something I want, right? I want the value inside the age variable. So what I can do is I can put some special syntax. It's called the curly brace, okay? So if you put the curly brace around the age, then the system or the engine is going to interpret, you know what, this one is actually coming from here. So it's going to use this value to display it on my websites. Okay, and if I go back to my stuff, oh, actually I'm 44 years old. I'm not even 43, I kind of forgot. Okay. And you can be sure that if you write it like this, then no matter when the visitor visits your site, they're going to see your current age correctly. Okay. Correctly. Okay, so if you run into any red lines, let me know. I'm pretty good at fixing all of this. Okay, the only thing is usually what happens is you put this wrong in the wrong place. It has to be between this function declaration and the return statement. Okay. All right, so this one, very simple. How about something even more fun? Okay, so I'm going to go for the dynamic content number 2. Okay. So I want you to see if you can do this. So I want to paste this, but the whole thing's in here. This one actually goes into the display parts. Okay, so I'm going to go into below right here, and just give it some space. Okay, but here's the thing: be careful when you do this. There always has to be the opening and closing thing surrounding it all the time. Okay. When you put it, make sure that you put it between the closing and the opening of this blank tag, okay? If you put it outside, it doesn't work, okay? You have to put it inside, okay? Meaning that if you collapse it, it has to be like this, always, okay? So you can put my stuff in here like that. And you can see what happened. Okay? Now you can see button in here. If I click it, then you can see there are some dynamic contents happening. Okay? So you can even do that. Okay? This is much easier to do all of this than last time when you have to declare a new JavaScript file, right, called scripts. You have to write a lot of syntax in there. It's quite long. This one super concise, right? And you know, you can even change this text in here. So you can do whatever you want, actually. You can try that. Special syntax. Okay, so we start to have something dynamic on our website right now, okay? If you need help, let me know, okay? If you have red lines, I can help you fix it, okay? All right, next up, we're gonna try something even more fun. So it's called state management, meaning that I want to actually have the counter where, you know, the number keeps changing if you hit a button, okay? So what I can do is, I can do this. Okay, so first, do this with me, okay? So I'm gonna import something special from my framework, React. Okay, so this part goes to the very top. It can be anywhere, but let's just put it on the top like this. Okay, so I'm gonna import something in here. And I guess to explain briefly, this one is a function that you can use to generate this state variable inside this application. Okay, so you need to keep some state if you want to count something. Okay, next up, I want you to copy this line over here. Okay, this line goes between the function declaration and the return statement. Okay, so I'm going to put this one, and let's just put it right after my app, like this. Shall we? Actually, it can be anywhere in here, but let's just put it right, you know, after my function declaration, okay? And again, this one, it's gonna set up the state variable that you can change, you know? And lastly, I want to copy this part right here, okay? Again, you don't need the blank tag. You only need the 2 lines in here, okay? So copy it carefully. I only need this part, okay? Just this part right here. And I'm gonna paste it below the button that I have earlier. Again, it needs to be between that blank text, okay? And if you did everything correctly, then you should be able to see a button that you can click, and then the number is actually changed. Okay, so I know this one is a bit complicated, so I'll do everything one more time for you guys. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna undo everything. Okay, so first we start from just the page, which is one button that alerts the dialog box. Okay, so I'm gonna make a counter with the button. So I'm gonna go to my lecture, okay, page 20. First, I want to copy the import statement and place it on top of my file. Next, I want to copy this line, const, and then whatever that is, copy, and paste below my function declaration. Okay, so you see function app, just place it right afterward. Okay. Lastly, I want to copy the H2 and the button tag part, just only 2 lines in here. I don't need the enclosing one, okay? And I'm going to place it in after my existing button, okay, like this. Again, make sure that your stuff is between the blank tags, okay? And now if I save, I can have my button that clicks and the count actually changes. Is that pretty cool? Okay, so let me make sure that you guys are on page with me, okay? So before I go even further, at least you should try to change things and see if it makes sense or not, okay? The first thing is that this particular line, it's just going to set up the state of your application, which is the count, right? So actually, you can try this one. If you change this number, this is a starting point, okay? So why don't you change to something else, like 10. Save, and see what happened to your website, okay? It's going to start with 10, okay? Another thing that you can do is, you know what? I want to change how this one increments, okay? So come back here. Why don't you change this one too? Okay, change it to like 2 or 3. Or you can even try the negative number if you want. So I'm going to do 2. Okay? And now I can increment by 2. Like that. Okay? I can even do negative number if I want. Right? It's going to go down. Something like that. All right? So make sure that you try changing something and see if it makes sense or not. Okay? Okay. Okay, so last thing that we're going to do today is actually something that could be, a little bit more complex, but actually quite fun. So what I want you to do is, you know what? If you want to do with me, fine. If you don't want it, that's okay too, because this one could have some privacy issue. So what I want you to do is like have this web page, and there are a form that user can send you the Discord message right away. How cool is that? We can make that happen too. Okay. Again, to do this, you're gonna have to have Discord account, and then I think you're gonna have to kind of allow people to send message to you. So if you're fine with that, you can do that with me. If you have issue, if you don't wanna, if you have concern with privacy, you can just watch it. Okay, it depends on if you wanna play with me. Although you can just disable this feature very easily. So you can try that first. And then you can disable this feature if you are concerned about people spamming your Discord account, okay? So what I can do is, first I want to go into my Discord. Okay, so if you have Discord, you can play this with me, okay? So first I'm going to log in to my Discord account. The best way is to use your QR code. Okay, so I'm going to use my QR. Like that. Okay, I'm scanning my Discord. Okay, so that's how I log in. So I want to see if nobody wants to do it, then I'll skip. But if you guys want to do it, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's quite cool. So if anybody's still logged in, then I'll help you do it. Okay, so there's someone still want to play with it, so that's cool. So usually use QR code is the best way to log in. So yeah, but you have to have your Discord application on your phone. Sorry. Okay, so okay, if you want to play with me, very cool. If not, you can chill out. No, no pressure. Okay. No pressure. Okay. So what I can do is I want to have some, it's called webhook. So I need to kind of set up my stuff a little bit, okay? So usually the best way is to create a new server, okay? So a server is like, you know, a chat room, for example, right? If you ever use Discord, you can create a new server, okay? And just name it something. And you know what? You can delete it later too if you want. So no, you know, no issue about people spamming you because you can just disable it too, okay? So I'm going to create a new server, okay? So I already did because I don't want to create too many servers in my account. But let's say this is a new one, right? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get the special information, a special URL so that I can send message to this particular server. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my server, right, and then there's the drop down button that I can do from here. Okay, and I'm going to go for the server settings. Okay, server setting. Okay. And then I'm going to go for integration, so apps integration. And then there's a thing called webhooks, okay, webhooks. And usually you're not going to see anything in here, but you can create the new webhooks. Webhook, okay. This is my new one, okay. And then if I click on my webhook, I should be seeing the button called copy webhook URL. Okay, I'm going to copy this one, okay, and I'm going to, you know, place it in my notepad just to show you how it looks like, although you don't even need to see what it is, okay. If I paste it down, it's going to be something quite long. And this one is actually the information that I need in order to send the message into this server. Okay, for you, it's going to be different. Okay. One more time for those who may be missing something. So I'm creating a new server. It's like a chat room, right? I go to my new server, and I go to server settings. Okay, I'm going to integration. And then I'm going to webhooks. And I'm going to create new webhook. Okay? And once you get a webhooks in here, then you can copy the webhook URL. And again, if you don't want people to send you a message, just delete it. That's all you need to do. And then nobody can message you anything. So it's not really a problem. You can just delete it here. Right? Okay. Anyway, for those who are still following me, this is the information that I want to create an app that can send message to this server. Okay, let me move on because I don't think many people following me want to do this. So maybe just make sure that you can go home soon. Okay. So the rest pretty easy now. Once you did this, there are 2 more steps in here. Okay. So I'm gonna go to page number 24. It's gonna be an HTML. Okay. So I'm just gonna copy this one and place it into the very bottom of my page, okay? Which is going to be the form that I can type and also a button to click, okay? Wait, something wrong? Oh, okay. It's still not working yet because I still need to have this function in here. So next step is I'm going to the page number 25. I'm going to copy these functions in here, okay? The whole thing's in here. I'm gonna place it between the apps and the return statement. So again, I'm gonna give it a room in here, and then I'm gonna place this one in. Okay. Make a note that the whole function is actually inside this computation area. Okay, the whole thing's in here. And then all you need to do is actually to copy your webhooks and put it in the things that I say webhook URL. Copy it back in. It's going to be quite long, and that's all you need to do. Okay, so let me show you how it works first, and then I'll replay everything back one more time for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to go to my web, right, and then check this one out. I have the thing that hi from React, and then poke me. Okay, and if I were to go to my server, you see this one, it works. Okay, so people can just message you like this. Again, if you don't want people to spam you, you can just delete your webhook, and nobody can do, and you're saved. Okay, but this is a very simple way, I guess, for you to create something that's actually, you know, relatively makes sense in the real world, right? Okay, so let me redo everything one more time, okay? Because I know it's kind of fast. Okay. All right, so first we're going to have webhook URL, okay? So we're going to create a new server, okay? Go to server settings, and then go to integration, webhooks, and new webhooks. I can even create a new one if I want, okay? And then I'm going to copy the webhook URL, and I'm going to save it here, the new one, okay? I can regenerate as many as I want. I can even delete the old one, okay? I can delete this one too, just to make sure, okay? I only have this one available, okay? Next stop is I'm going to page number, page number 24. Copy the HTML parts and place it into kind of like the end of your content, okay? But make sure that you are still between the empty tag, okay? And then I'm going to copy the function, okay, the whole function. Copy, and I'm going to paste it in here. So make sure that it's between the function declaration and the return statement, okay? If I were to collapse it, you'll see what I mean. So it's the functions in here and the return statements in here, okay? So make sure the whole function is between the apps and the return, okay? And last thing is we need to input your own webhook URL in here. So I'm going to copy the things that I have, stuffs in here, and I'm going to place it here, okay? It's going to be pretty long, okay? But that's it. It works, okay? Try it one more time. So stuffs in here, poke me, and there you go. It's coming right up, okay? Okay, so this one, optional. If you want to have some fun, you may do it, you know. And if you are concerned about people spamming you, you can go back to your server and delete your webhooks by going to server setting. And you can do integration, app integration, webhooks, and then just delete this one. If you delete like this, you're safe. Okay, that's all. All right, so before you can sign in your attendance, you have to put the whole thing onto Netlify for me. So I gotta see your website online, okay? So in order to do that, you are going to build your website, okay? So get your terminal up like this, okay? And then you can click on it to make sure it's active. And then I'm gonna press Control-C to turn off the server. Okay, so right now if I press Control-C, I can start typing and it will accept my command, okay? And the command that you want to build your website is called npm run build. So do this with me. Okay, everybody needs to do this before you can sign in your attendance. Okay, I'm gonna press enter. And now it should start building your website, okay? And if you did it correctly, then you should see output like this. Okay? I just want to make sure if you haven't seen something like this, let me know. If you did, the rest is the same. You are going to go to Netlify. Remember, netlify.com. The place where we host our website last time. And logged in accordingly. Two, three, four. Okay, once you're done, you're almost done. Once you get this page, you're almost done. So what I want you to do is add a new project. So you should be seeing something like this now because you already did one project. So your dashboard should look something like this. So I'm going to deploy manually. Or try to find a way to deploy manually, okay? And now you should be able to drag and drop things in here, okay? What you want to drop things is actually going to be in your Wheat project folder, okay? You don't want to drop Wheat project folder, okay? That's too much. What you want is actually open it, okay? Do you see the folder called dist? This is where you want to drop. This is where you don't want to drop the whole thing. It's going to be way too long. Okay, so if you don't see this folder, that means your build failed. Okay, so you gotta let me know. Okay, so I'm gonna drag this folder in here, and you're done. Okay, and right away I can see my link, and now I have my cool website online. Okay, again, if you see this, then you can sign in your attendance and go back home.